From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Monday, July the 22nd, 2019. White House Senior Advisor Jared Kushner is set to be heading back to Israel next week, part of his continued efforts regarding the economic aspect of the yet-to-be-unveiled U.S. peace plan for Israel and the Palestinians. The Times of Israel reports that Kushner will be joined by U.S. Special Representative for International Negotiations Jason Greenblatt and Special Iran Envoy Brian Hook, and also make stops in Egypt, Jordan, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates. Citing an unnamed senior U.S. official saying the purpose of the visit is to follow up on the Bahrain workshop, referring there to the package presented at the Peace to Prosperity Conference, which included a $50 billion investment packaged for the Palestinians and the region, saying we would like to finalize the plan's economic portion, including to discuss the potential placement of the investments. The Rabbinical Council of America, the national organization of Orthodox rabbis, has been supportive of President Trump for his many pro-Israel policies, so it is significant when the RCA issues a statement that says anything critical of the president, however obliquely it may be phrased. After last week's Trump rally in North Carolina, where attendees chanted "Send her back," echoing the president's saying that freshman Congresswoman Ilhan Omar should return to Somalia if she didn't love America, the RCA issued the following release. Whether statements that question the loyalty of American Jews when the safety and security of Israel is at stake, or rallies that call upon descendants of immigrants to return to countries they never knew, we see these pronouncements as dangerous to the core values of our faith and the foundations of American society. Turning to some political news in Israel, Ayelet Shaked announced yesterday that she will lead the New Right Party, with former co-chair of the party Naftali Bennett in the number 2 spot. The former Justice Minister ran with Bennett in the elections this past April, but it was assumed that Bennett would lead if the party had made it into the Knesset, which it did not receiving enough votes to clear the threshold. Shaked last night called on the right to unite to increase the possibility of unseating Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Shaked told a press conference mergers will be the insurance policy of the ideological right, adding that the differences between us are negligible in the face of the challenges that lie ahead. Shaked also said that she is in touch with the leader of the Union for Right-Wing Parties, Rafi Peretz, and that the two agreed to meet in person to discuss a possible merger there. There are reports that there has been pressure placed on Peretz to move aside for Shaked. That remains to be seen. Israel is facing criticism today for tearing down a number of buildings in East Jerusalem that were illegally constructed and posed a security threat, being too close to the security barrier. The United Nations and the European Union claimed that the actions undermined hopes for peace. Israel's public security minister Gilad Erdan responded to the criticism on Twitter, writing, "When illegal construction presents a security threat, Israel has the authority, including according to the Oslo Accords, to enforce the law against it." He added the Supreme Court even ruled in favor of such. Erdogan said the Palestinians purposely built their houses next to the security barrier. Israel's ambassador to the United States, Ron Dermer's future appears to be in flux. His tenure is up at the end of September, less than 2 weeks after Israel's national elections, and Prime Minister Netanyahu requested a 12-month extension. But Israel's Channel 12 reported that Israel's Civil Service Commission refused the request. However, the Prime Minister yesterday in a Facebook Live video said the ambassador's term would be extended for another year. U.S. presidential hopeful Senator Cory Booker clarified this weekend that he would not ever meet with notorious anti-Semite Louis Farrakhan. Booker was asked back in June on whether he would avoid the Nation of Islam leader, and his reported answer came across as unclear. Booker later said his comments were taken completely out of context, and speaking yesterday on CNN's State of the Union, he made his position firm.
I will not sit down with Louis Farrakhan, period. And I reject anybody who preaches that kind of bigotry and hate towards other Americans.
You will note that the headline at the bottom of the screen during the interview states that Booker has not ruled out such a meeting, which contradicts what the senator is in fact saying. Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Monday, July the 22nd. At 7 o'clock, it's The Wisdom of Dr. Ruth. At 7:30, the granddaughter of a Holocaust survivor and the granddaughter of a Nazi officer discuss their documentary, Back to the Fatherland. At 8 o'clock, Iranian Jewish journalist Roya Hakakian tells the story of her book about the 1992 Iranian murders of Kurdish leaders in Berlin. At 9, Mark Golub sits down with filmmaker Galen Ross, who talks about her film Killing Kastner, about how Israel Kastner saved Jewish children from the Holocaust, but then was murdered, accused of collaborating with the Nazis. At 10, a look at the phenomenon of Holocaust fatigue. And coming up right after this newscast, it's The Jewish World. And we end the news today with the passing of legendary District Attorney Robert Morgenthau. Morgenthau was an icon and devoted to the Jewish people. He was the longest-serving Manhattan DA, serving in the role for 35 years and presiding over a slew of high-profile cases. He was the inspiration for prosecutor Adam Schiff on TV's Law & Order, whose creator Dick Wolf called Morgenthau the greatest district attorney in the history of New York. Morgenthau also served as chairman of Manhattan's Museum of Jewish Heritage. He died yesterday at the age of 99, just 10 days short of his 100th birthday.